Sure. Hi, guys. Welcome. We are doing a late night little situation. What up, though, y'all? It's late in the evening, in the midnight hour. What's up, beautiful people? Thank y'all for bopping in. Where we at? Where they at? Where they at? What's up, Instagram? What's up, TikTok? What's up, y'all? I was just gonna do like an Instagram live, and then I was like, what the hell? What the helly? I might as well just come on here and do a late nights with Nicci. Why not? We all grown. You guys, I'm coming in from a really cool event. A really cool event thrown by my sister friend Stacey J. Johnson. So my hair was did. I got my hair did, my nails did, all of the things. So I was like, come tomorrow, honey. I'm going to be looking real like I just came in from the gym. So I said, I might as well. I mean, I did the makeup. I did the lip. I did the hair. I did the nails. I did all the things. I might as well come on and say hello to you guys. I don't know who's hanging out late. I'm such a night owl. I'm always out super duper late. But I just wanted to come in and say hello. And say, I know we are all scratching our heads, trying to figure out what is happening. Can y'all hear me, TikTok? I hope y'all can hear me okay. Can you guys hear me on YouTube? Can y'all hear me on LinkedIn? Can y'all hear me on Facebook? Can y'all hear me on X? I know y'all can hear me on Instagram because I'm not using a separate mic. Thank you guys. I got a lot of compliments on my hair tonight because I actually took my time and curled the shit up. I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna go a little bit shorter because I don't know. I feel like I could go a little bit shorter. Pixie for me is always like a whole journey. It's like not a thing where I'm just like immediately into the micro short pixie and then I don't have a relaxer. I need to really relax my shit a little bit more. But actually I don't because I work out, and what's more important to me than looking fabulous and having everything fried out and laid to the side is making sure that I could have my coils and my curls. I love the height of this cut. Thank you so much. Yeah, it was actually had a little bit more height to it, but yeah, we were talking about it tonight, just talking about embracing the gray, honey. Embracing aging gracefully. You feel me? So I thank y'all for coming in and hanging out with me on Nights with Nicci. This late night edition. I figured, what the hell? We grown. Let's talk about what's going on. Let's do some roll call. Let's see who's in this here building. Hello, Love Gail. Or is that, yeah, Love Gail. Hello, Extra Conceited. Hello, Camel Soul. Hello, Shonda. Hi, love. What was this? Sunny Harris. Hello, Sunny. How are you? Hello, Antonio. How are you? Let's see who's over here on Insta. Ooh, I can't see shit on Instagram. The font is really okay. I see DJ. I see Creasy somebody. I can't see nothing because the text is so small. But I see y'all in here. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for joining. What's up, J Rock? Yes, child. If you're not giving us a late night show, yes, we're doing a late night show. Cut up and your skin is so gorgeous. Oh, thank you so much. I got on a little face. I put on a little. You know what, y'all? I really don't even wear like a ton of makeup. I don't wear makeup on a regular basis because I just, I prefer like of clear, clean skin. So I try to only wear makeup when I work, which, is often enough. But I like even when I put makeup on, especially the older that I get, I'm grown as hell now, right? So, The older that I get, yeah, he said I need this tonight. That's cool, y'all. The older that I get, I just don't, that's why I cut my hair. And my hair grew. My shit grew. My hair was giving growage. And I cut it because it just started to feel like so much. It was a lot. Like even putting my hair in a ponytail was just like it just felt extra tight. Ladies, y'all know what I'm talking about. Men, y'all got it. I'm like, y'all got it a whole lot easier than us when it come to this hair shit. But because sometimes the ponytails be tight, and then you got to gel your shit down. The woman behind me, who's the woman behind me in the painting? Y'all know who that woman behind me in that painting is? Come on now. I'm going to give you got to know who that is. You can't make out that face, J-Rock? You cannot make out the face of the woman. I think y'all can see it on IG. And let's see, can y'all see it on TikTok? Yep, if I move over, y'all can see it on TikTok. Who is that woman? Y'all know that's the boss, Diana Ross. My husband painted that. My husband is a fantastic artist. In fact, if you'd like to commission him to do some art for you, this side of the cameras and stuff, but there's like a big ass picture, oil painting of Michael, which is probably about 5.5 feet tall and about 4 feet wide. I don't know, maybe. I don't know. But it's a big picture of Michael. And then there's a picture of Nina Simone. This is my creative space. This is where I remember, what I'm here for. Yes, I want to always bring art and music and gift. You didn't know that was Diana? Yes, it's Diana. I mean, you can, it's a little, it is a slight bitch. Did I tell you I had a drink? I had 2 lemon drops tonight. Okay. It is a slight bit blurry. It's a slight bit blurry. Oh, y'all got to see the picture he did of, oh man, is it in my phone? Which phone is it in? Y'all ain't gonna be able to see it. Hold on, let me see if I could, let me see. Faith gonna kill me. But Faith commissioned him. Hold on, let me see if I could pull this picture that he did for Faith up. Faith commissioned him to do a photo for her. All right, I'm gonna show y'all one at a time. Y'all see that? My husband painted this for Faith. It's up in her house. You see it? Can y'all see this? Oh, y'all ain't really able to get the gist of it. Dang. I'm gonna have to, I wonder if I screenshot it in and dropped it in, if it'll make it easier. But y'all see who that is. Can y'all see that? Y'all can't really see it. But it's a picture of Biggie. Exactly. That's Biggie, but it's just the way my husband did it is just like the side of his face and his eye. It's so cool. So Faith has that up in her foyer. So yeah, my husband's pretty freaking dope. I'll see if I'm gonna ask if I can get permission to post the actual image, but it's really dope. He has prints of that Biggie as well. So anyway, I just watched you when you was on Martin. Oh, thank you. That Martin episode be going, y'all. That Martin episode, yeah, it's always happening. The Martin episode is always happening. Oh, you can hear now. Okay, great. Oh, the sound was gone? Hold on. Can y'all hear me? YouTube, y'all can hear me? Okay. Thank you guys. I'm getting a ton of compliments on the hair. But yeah, that's why I cut it. Because I was just, the older I get, the more. YouTube, can y'all tell me if y'all can hear me now? Oh, you can't hear me now. Okay, yep. I don't know why I was doing that. Have no idea. Just the older you get, the less makeup you want, the less I can't wear girdles no more and shit. I can't. Yeah, the sound is back. Okay, good. I can't. Not girdles. That's the wrong way to say. Why did I say girdles? Y'all know you're old school when you call undergarments girdles, right? That's what we used to call them back in the day. Girdles. But I just extraneous, my bras now, I can't even, why am I talking all crazy? Because I had a couple of cocktails, it's late, and I'm just giving way too much TMI, but let's just keep it real. In a world full of AI shit, let's just keep it real. I can't wear underwires. I can't do none of that. If it's extraneous and it just feel like it's doing too much, it's squeezing too tight, it's too much hair, it's too much stuff. Like I don't know what's going on with our babies out here today, our nieces. But all of that, please hit like, you guys. This still a regular show, even though this is not a regular show in that it's late, it's on late, and I'm just probably gonna be on here rambling a little bit. It's still a regular show in that I need you guys to hit like and share and subscribe because that will tell the algorithm. Give me plenty of hearts, TikTok. Y'all in this building, TikTok. Please give me shapewear. Thank you. Shapewear equals girls back in the day. Undergarment shapewear. I don't want anything extraneous. I don't even want extraneous relationships. I don't want extraneous food. I don't know what it is. I think the older you get, you just don't have time to be sugarcoating and shit. You don't have time to be, you know, it's just, and maybe it's not that, maybe it's not just that I'm getting older. Maybe it's just these times we out here living in these streets and shit. Because the times that we're living in on this here day, it's just, the things that are happening from the highest office in the land on the lowest vibrations on the planet. How is that possible? How is it possible that you could be in the highest office of the land and shit just be so low vibrational? Because what? Like, I don't even think anybody can really process, like fully process what is happening in politics in America. What is happening in the world, period. I mean, what's happening? Does anybody know? Because it's almost like a sick joke. Y'all can't hear me again? What is going on with my mic? You guys cannot hear me again on YouTube? Somebody just said we can't hear you. Hold on. I hate to do this, but I'm gonna have to pull up the YouTube. I'm sorry, guys. I want to get this right because I don't want YouTube to be whack. Hold on. I'm just gonna have to pull it. Hello? I can hear. Okay, that just must be your thing because I definitely can hear. Yeah. We can hear you. I can hear you. Okay, great. See, that shit is so confusing because my ass will be moving a little extra fast and the mic will be jacked up. But okay. So I want to have this conversation with all the grown people in here. And if you're following me, okay, perfect. Sound is working good. Thank you, J Rock. I appreciate you. J Rock, will you monitor that for me, please? I know that there's what do you call them? Admins and wrenches and stuff. I'll learn that eventually. Somebody gonna have to give me a YouTube refresher course, but just I'm gonna look for you to tell me when it starts to go haywire, J Rock, please. Okay. So I want to say this. And I kind of got to a place where I was completely burnt out on the political. Before we get into the political shit, let me go back to the whole I done got older and I ain't got time for the bullshit no more. And everything that's going on in the world today makes it even easier for me to justify not having time for anybody, not having time for the bullshit. So recently, we'll say, I was in a situation where, and I'm gonna be talking in circles, not talking in circles, but I'm gonna be talking in code. Like I'm not gonna name the person because it's really just about the experience that I had with this person. So recently, I ran into somebody who did some really foul shit to me. Very, very close proximity. As in went to an event one day, and it was an intimate event, and it was a dinner, and got sat right next to the person. And I was like, oh, Jesus. Okay, Lord. This what we doing? Heavenly Father, you not just gonna put me at the event with the person, but you're gonna put me at the event sitting directly across from the person who I felt very violated by. Not violated in like a physical way or whatever, but just, it feels like a violation when when you love somebody and a person is your friend, and or so you think, like, even if y'all not like this, like, it ain't like super, even if you're not like super duper tight, but just somebody that you would consider somebody like, oh, we cool, if a job opportunity came up, you will refer that person for the job opportunity, right? If an opportunity put some money in their pocket came up, you will refer. And it's not no R&B diva shit. This is unrelated to R&B divas. But I came face to face recently with someone who hurt me to my core, because it was during a time, how, okay, because in a world where people just saying what they want to say, no matter how disrespectful the shit comes out, I'm trying to figure out ways to make the point without being mean, calling somebody out their name, rolling my neck, sucking my teeth. I might get a tad bit, a little ratchet in a moment here or there, because it might drum up some human feelings. So if I do, charge it to the fact that I've had 2 lemon drops and, my head, not my heart. So at a time when I felt like, how like you might be going through something. Let's just, when I was going through my case, right? There are people who went out of their way. Well, maybe not out of their way, because maybe they didn't see it that way, but there are people who really like reached out and made it their business to just be like, look, I know it's not nothing I could really do. I'm not a lawyer. I ain't really got no money for you, but are you good? Like, do you want to go have a drink? Can I send you some DoorDash? Just people who periodically would just, do something nice. Or even if it's just sending a text message like, hey, sis, I saw that video that you made, that rant, and I just wanted you to know I'm praying for you. People who gave me grace and space to vent about the case. A lot of y'all, I really appreciate you guys for allowing me to just vent, because nobody knows. And this ain't even about the case. I'm not about to play the small violin on the case. I'm just saying, at the time, and it's crazy because that is such a significant part of my life. Everywhere I go, somebody wants to know, did you win? Did you lose? Why did you lose? How do you feel? Are you okay? You know what I mean? So I know that this P Valley thing is going to follow me for the rest of my life. It's going to follow the show. It's going to follow it. It's just a thing that was unfortunately, it didn't get as much press and attention as I would have liked, because I feel like that would have definitely, at the very least, would have helped me, get a trial after 5 years. But it's over. Right? It's over. So this isn't about beating a dead horse. But during that time, it was very hard for me. Even at times where I like not put on, because yeah, I was strong and I was like, fuck around and find out all day. You know what I'm saying? But there were moments where I was just completely broken, completely devastated, completely confused, completely lost, completely afraid. Like I've said, this wasn't play. As much as social media wanted it to be play, as much as other people maybe looked at it as play, like it was just some shit that I was just trying to do for some attention. I think the emotionally intelligent people in the building knew that I wasn't playing. We leveraged everything. This wasn't play. We weren't playing. We were very dead ass serious. And we were fighting very hard for our intellectual property rights. And not just for our intellectual property rights. We were fighting very hard to learn whether or not any creative would stand a chance against a well-funded defendant in Hollywood fighting for your IP. There were so many times I wanted to quit. And in their defense, they offered me settlement. Oh, they offered me settlement twice, a few times. They offered me a settlement. It wasn't acceptable for me, so I respectfully declined. But we talked settlements. We went to our mediation. We tried to let bygones be bygones. But it wasn't just about money for me, which is why I didn't just accept the settlement. It was about ownership of the intellectual property that I created and having the opportunity to build generational wealth and wellness, and also standing in the gap for other creatives and other artists and other people who deserve the opportunity to have ownership of their IPs. So I didn't accept the settlement from the P Valley people. I didn't accept it. I didn't accept the offers. And my lawyers advised me well in saying you did the right thing. What I did not expect is for any of my peers in the industry, especially peers in the industry that I had love for, where I put money in your pocket and I provided opportunity for you, especially peers in the industry who, and I'm having this conversation with y'all because I feel icky when I have to be cold to people, contrary to popular belief. 90-something% of the people who, if they're being honest, that I've worked with, that I made money with, that I've had, people tell you I'm a girl's girl. I'm an actor's, and a creative's best friend. I'm always looking out for trying to figure out how to preserve the culture, trying to figure out how to get us to the next level, trying to figure out ideas that help us generate revenue. I don't give a fuck who you talk to. They're lying to you if they tell you otherwise. I'm not saying I always do that shit perfect. I'm not saying that my tone is always the best. I'm not saying that I'm always in pocket in terms of delivery, but the intention in which I move in this industry and have always moved in this industry. I mean, look at Brownstone. It's been 15 members of Brownstone. Like, no shade. Like, not like that. That didn't even come out right. But remember, I had 2 lemon drops tonight. I never dropped the ball on Brownstone. And in Brownstone, I always made sure, like, okay, you know what? And go watch the Kenny Burns interview, because it does a sort of quick and dirty version of like why the group disbanded, because people a lot of times just assume that the shit fell apart because I had a bad attitude. That's not what happened. But that's the narrative that people want you to believe. And it's typically the narrative that people want you to believe about people who are actually trying to help people. Now that we're learning how the gatekeeping shit works and how the people who are at the top of this industry are so wicked. Now we have a better understanding of why those of us who actually have integrity and actually want to see our people go forward and prosper are always prevented from those opportunities. It's fucked up. Because didn't nobody create R&B Divas and offer me a job? Didn't nobody create From the Bottom Up and offer me a job? Nobody created Brownstone and offered me an opportunity to shine our job. I created those IPs and intellectual properties, and I didn't create them for myself. I created it because I knew that it would be opportunities for people I loved and people I respected and my peers, and, for us to collectively come together and make some dope shit happen. And every single time, and this ain't no small violin. And this is the thing, it is very difficult for a woman like me to tell my story truthfully and passionately and honestly without periodically it coming off like I'm looking for sympathy. I promise you, whoever you are, who's surely going to make the motherfucking comment that I'm out here fishing for sympathy, or, oh, here she go again, or whatever. Somebody's surely going to make that dumbass comment. And to you, I say, you don't know me. And if you did, you would know that I don't expect sympathy at 50, about to be 56 fucking years old, and have done far more for people than people have done for me. I know what it is. I'm not expecting shit I didn't sweat for and I didn't earn. But that is the point. I only expect the things that I sweat for, the things that I earned, the blood, sweat, and tears that I've put into the things that I've created, the things that I rightfully deserve for my family to be able to eat off of. Why every single time? I'm not crazy when I'm doing this, y'all. I'm just trying to give everybody a little face time. So you ain't getting the side of my face off. But why every single time? For everything that I create. And it's not, listen, it is not just me. There are people, please hit like, this the late nights with Nicci. So please hit like. But there are people, thank you guys. I see all the compliments on here, and I love and appreciate you guys for it. Thank y'all so much. Thank you. I really appreciate you with my grown ass. But there are, I have just historically been on the short end of the stick when it comes to creating. And this is what I mean by that. Like, because somebody could be like, if you got paid more than I got at my job, then you straight. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I get it. Like, a person who is working a 9 to 5 or working in corporate America, might look at entertainers, what we make going on the road to do a show, like, damn, I wish I made that in a night. But that's the whole point. It's ebb and flow. We're not working every day. We're not getting a constant paycheck every week, guaranteed, with 401ks and all of this other stuff. You got to figure out how to make that shit last. You have to figure out how to get the money from this project and put that money into that project, or take the money from this and put it over here, because you've constantly got to, because the debt is sky fucking high, the cost, whatever. I'm not getting into all of that. My point is this, because I was telling y'all about an incident that I had recently, and it made me feel not bad. It made me feel, let me find my word. It made me feel uncomfortable. Because here's the thing about me, and y'all don't really know me, so this might seem a little, some of you have, gotten to know me better, and some of y'all know me because some of my friends be on these labs or whatever, but I'm the kind of person, when you know my energy, because I genuinely, if I hug you when I see you, or I greet you, it's genuine, right? Because I'm a person, contrary to popular belief, I don't have a lot of problems with a lot of people in my real life. It appears as though I have problems with people in my real life because I've had to take corporations to task for deboing me out of my shit and thinking I'm just going to allow it to happen. And because it becomes the Shade Room and Baller Alert, and thank you to Shade Room, Baller Alert, Jasmine Brand, Funky Deneve, all the people who, Kenny, all the people who have supported. It's crazy because Black media has shown up for me and supported me. Black YouTube, Black media has shown up for me and supported me, because there are a lot of smart people in this YouTube social media space. And mainstream media is basically like, get that shit out of here. It doesn't matter. But and new media. Now, the legacy media didn't have two words for me. I mean, because the legacy media was all about promoting the show that I was taking to task. Right? Oh no, we need them to be on the NAACPs, and we need them to be on the such and suches, and we need them to be, what the fuck was she talking about? Tamarind, just P Valley, which is fine, because, look, whew, good thing they didn't support me, right? Because look how it ended up. But I'm grateful for the media that did, YouTube, socials, because it really helped. It was like wind beneath my wings to a degree, right? It really helped me. It reinforced, especially when certain folks were like, look, I read it. I read the claim. I watched the case. I see what you're saying. Oh yeah, that you know what I mean? That meant so much. So that is why this situation that I'm going to discuss with y'all made me so uncomfortable. Because here are people that don't know me personally, who haven't made money with me, who I haven't like provided opportunity for. And they read the files and they read this. I mean, who goes to the Supreme Court on some bullshit, y'all? It wasn't just frivolousness. And I think we can all see, based on the things that are happening in the judicial system here these days, that it just be like that sometimes, especially when you are not one of the wealthy, powerful, influential ones. It just be like that sometimes. We see a lot of things that are happening in court systems that we're like, oh, I don't know how I feel about that. That probably shouldn't have went that way. So be clear. We didn't risk everything going to the Supreme Court because we were just on some. And the fact that I did it as a pro se petitioner, meaning I did it by myself. I wasn't expecting to really win shit because I ain't no lawyer, but I damn sure said, hey, listen, I'm going to do my best to write this writ of certiorari as a pro se litigant in the Supreme Court of the United States of America. And I did it by my damn self with no representation. And they didn't pay too much attention to it and it didn't go forward. But it will always be in the Supreme Court of the United States of America that this chick from Detroit stood 10 toes and fought to the highest court of the land. So that in and of itself, in my opinion, especially since my Supreme Court petition was not about them, and I haven't talked about this in a lot of detail since the case did not go forward, but I do think it's important for people to understand why I did what I did. You don't go to the Supreme Court to ask them to relitigate your case, right? So you don't go back and be like, hey, read this case again, relitigate this case. You go to the Supreme Court and you present questions about laws that need to change. So you go to the Supreme Court to actually set precedent and to change laws. You don't go to the Supreme Court for them to like re-litigate your case and okay, so Katori said what and Lionsgate said what and such said what. So that wasn't it. You go to the Supreme Court because you say, I brought a legitimate case to a court of law with lots of facts and an expert, and I was denied due process, which is a constitutional right. Right? A constitutional right that had been violated, in my opinion, which is why you go to the Supreme Court. Not because I want them to relitigate the case, but because I wanted them to examine whether or not my constitutional rights as a person who paid for a federal copyright and a person who'd been in a litigation for 5 years without having the opportunity to go to trial, a person who was charged millions and millions of dollars in legal fees, a person whose case was transferred from Georgia to California when both Katori and I lived in Georgia. So again, I'm not relitigating this because God knows I don't want to. I would do it all over again and we get back in there if we got to get back in there. But I'm saying this to say I expected my peers in the industry. I knew that a lot of people wouldn't speak up for me, especially people who had more to lose. I knew that people who were on shows, people who relied on these companies to hire them, people who had mouths to feed. You know what I'm saying? Um, I knew that I wouldn't get the support from them like that, because I'm like, shit, I know people got to feed their families. Not everybody's crazy enough. Not everybody born and raised in Detroit, right? But what I didn't expect, and I'm trying to tread a little lightly here. What I didn't expect was any of my peers that I knew, to support what they viewed as my loss. Because it wasn't just my loss. It was a loss for creatives. It was a loss for Black underfunded creatives, for all underfunded creatives. It was confirmation that even with pretty good evidence, great honest attorneys, that if you don't have the financial bandwidth to really go toe to toe with $billion companies, and what underfunded creators have to have it, then you don't win. And I don't regret what happened to me, as I've said before, just because somebody's got to go through the hell to come back and report. Don't do that. I would never encourage a young creative to try to sue a major corporation for, and this is going to be dangerous for me to say this, but it's the truth, and it just is what it is. I would never encourage a young creative to sue a major, no matter how good you think your evidence is, no matter how reliable your expert may be. I had a 30-year expert that's ringing my phone all the time for his $30,000 when it was probably 55 or some shit. There I go talking too much. But my point is just, there are other ways to be successful. And a lot of people told me, let it go, create something else. And my ego was like, no, I created that. I should be able to go to court and prove it. And I put so much into it, and it didn't end up like I wanted it to. But what I did not expect, as I've gone on this long ass tangent back into the valley that I said I would never go back into, is I did not expect the people I knew, people who knew me, people I thought we had mutual respect for, to celebrate me losing. And there's one person in particular who celebrated me losing and high-fived and again, I don't believe that I lost. I don't see it as a loss, because I didn't get a chance to go to trial. And as far as I'm concerned, I was robbed twice. Allegedly, in my mind, that's how it feels. That's not actually what happened, of course. Of course, nobody robbed me twice. Of course, that did not happen. But that's how I felt. And to see somebody that I made money with and I looked out for, and somebody whose back I had long before any of this shit. Matter of fact, I met this person in a play, like one of the first plays they had ever done. I supported them in the whole 9 yards, and I discovered that this person was cheering on the victory of the people who put my family through hell. And guess what happened? God recently sat me at a private dinner right across from the person who betrayed me. When I saw the support of the most devastating moment of not just my career, but the moment that defined whether or not creatives will ever be able to fight. This was for all of us. This wasn't just about me. This was a statement about creatives fighting for our intellectual property rights, for our preeminent business assets, for the ownership of the things that we write and create. I'm about to be up to 6 o'clock in the morning. That's why I'm on this live all late. I'm about to be up to 6 o'clock in the morning trying to meet a deadline so my editor can get my notes for this Detroit Housewives League movie. Busting my ass nightly on building a platform and creating content and creating ideas. Because I believe that ownership and being able to pass something down to our kids, rebuilding what has been stolen and taken from us in general in this entertainment industry. The entertainment industry is on a fucking dumpster fire right now. Everywhere you turn, everywhere you look, you're discovering this one getting accused of that. This one undone this. This one undone that. The few R&B artists, not few, there are plenty of us, but when you think about all the ones that we have lost over the years, the Prince, the Whitney, the Michael, oh my God, Lord Jesus, please God bless Little John's family and his son. Mm-mm-mm. That just popped into my heart. God bless Little John's family. But yeah, and then when you hear about Netflix and the big boys doing $100 billion, gazillion-dollar deals for what? The content that we be trying to salvage. The content that do y'all know how many records you have to stream to make $5,000? How many streams you have to have on these streaming platforms in order to make in order for the artists that y'all love and appreciate. And I know I'm kind of all over the place. Y'all following me. Tell me to reel it in if I need to and go back to whatever. I'm going to get back to sitting across from the person who played me because that was crazy. But in order to make $5,000 a month streaming, you have to stream approximately 1,250,000 times on one record, or maybe multiple. But you got to stream 1,250,000 times every month. So you got to have 1.5 million streams every single month on a record to make $5,000. And guess what? The average person is not making or getting that number of streams. So artists financially end up suffering because you get less than a penny. Now, I thank God when you got a hit record, you're going to stream, it's going to work, it goes. But how many just independent, dope ass creative? And think about it. CDs used to sell for $10. So in order for you to make $5,000 at $10 a pop, all you have to sell is 500 hard copies of your CD. But you got to do almost 2 million streams a month. Every single month, 25 million streams a year to be able to pay your bills for $5 million a month. I mean, $5,000 a month as an artist, as a performer, as a singer, as an artist, as a creative in a streaming thing. And yeah, I know people like, well, yeah, that's better than, but again, back to what I was saying earlier, people who got corporate jobs and 9-to-5s, you go to work, you're going to definitely get paid. That's why I'm so adamant and persistent in pursuit of ownership. Because when you own something in perpetuity, which most of us signed away our rights in perpetuity to companies when we was 23 and 24 years old. We didn't know no better. We just geeked up to be famous. So, hey, sure, I'll sign what? You know what I'm saying? Because we were kids. I was 23. But us growing more mature and starting to realize that we are in an industry where AI is taking over, in an industry where robots are learning the scene based on the things that we have put into the system, we're not getting paid for any of that. So when somebody says, I'm going to go all the way to the Supreme Court on behalf of artists and creatives because we're already getting robbed in broad daylight. But here's a situation where you can fix a problem that's been going on for many years. And they chose not to do it. And then for one of your peers in the industry to support the success of a multi-billion-dollar company over a starving artist, somebody that you was cool with, to amen corner your loss, and then for God to sit you across from him at a dinner. What y'all think happened? Now, if y'all, what y'all think happened? I was like, oh, well, the first thing that happened is the person who celebrated my loss came in for a hug. The all motherfucking audacity. No, 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 no. Hold the fuck up. Excuse me? You celebrate my loss and the loss that happened a few months after my sister died of brain cancer. Now, you don't call me and say, oh, I'm sorry. No, don't put no names in the chat. Please don't put any names in the chat. I appreciate it. If you know, I get, yeah. But what? No. Oh, I hate that you went through that. Oh, I see you were fighting for artists and creators. Because here's the thing, I don't need you to support me publicly. I don't need you to be like, yeah, girl, go. Even though some people, and I know I was going roundabout with y'all because I was trying to decide if I was gonna go here, but take me through there. You don't call to check to see if my sister's okay. And it's like, yeah, maybe you're busy. You got a lot of things going on, whatever. But you have the motherfucking audacity to celebrate with commentary my loss. And when God puts us in front of each other, the first thing you try to do is come in for a hug. So my response was this. And then the question of whether or not I was okay came up. Are you okay? Is everything okay? You okay? I'm not being messy because I'm not telling y'all who this is. But I was just baffled and dumbfounded because I'm like, sis, you just celebrated the most devastating loss of my career in life. Not just, well, not the most devastating, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. Like, it's up there. And God sits us across from each other and, hey, girl. No. Nah, Gina. No, ma'am. Now, clearly, this isn't the environment for us to have, dialogue about the situation because this is not what we're here for. We're here to celebrate something, positive. But the irony of being sat across from the person who amen cornered your loss. You didn't even have to say anything when I lost. That's the whole point. You didn't even have to make a comment. You didn't even have to go put something under the post like, yeah, girl. You didn't have to do none of that. Tisha from Brownstone, from my group, did the same thing. Made a comment after I lost. Where the fuck we do that at? It's Nights with Nicci Midnight Edition, so I'm entitled to this. And we sat there for 2.5 hours across from each other. And she just kept trying to make small talk with me. And it was really pissing me off. Because it was like, I'm being nice. Because I'm not saying, hey, so about that thing that you said when I lost my case. I didn't do that because I've been messy and Nicci from the R&B divas. Oh, that had black gums and the spine. And no, we're not doing that. We're grown as hell. We're 56. But let's not ask me how my life is and what am I working on and what thing, because you're forcing me to be polite. And right now, I really want to just turn around and be like, bitch, what the fuck are you doing here across from me? But I'm not going to do that because it wouldn't be ladylike or respectful. But the audacity of you not having the emotional intelligence to read the room, sis. Because you did not have to say anything when I lost. Like nothing. I was so uncomfortable. It's not important who we're talking about. It's just an experience. I don't want to be messy because this isn't about, this is our little intimate space. And I know sometimes the shit I say will go a lot farther than just here. And I have to consider that. But it was a evening of influencers, very intimate 20-something people in an intimate sit-down dinner situation. And we sat right across. I'm like, what I'm finna do right here? I'm going to be cordial. I'm going to keep it short. We're not talking about Selena Johnson. I said a long time ago, it ain't got nothing to do with R&B divas. It's not even important about who it is about. It is just, it's interesting because I ended up having to call my sister Pam the Law Intellect. Shout out to Pam the Law Intellect. I love Pam. She's from Detroit. Because I had to let it go. I had to unleash it. I was like, can you believe? Because a lot of people saw it. A lot of people saw it. And a lot of people sent it to me. And a lot of people was like, damn, I thought that was your girl. I was like, damn, me too. And then when she came in the room at the event recently, a while ago, it was like, hey, girl, no. No. Now, I didn't do all that because then that would have been obvious. That would have been so obvious, right? I didn't do all that. It wasn't big and disrespectful, but it was clear enough for them to be like, are you okay? Is everything okay? And that patronizing ass motherfucking shit right there almost sent me. Is everything okay? Yeah, everything's fine. And I'm working on wellness and positivity and not being messy. But y'all know I had to come on here and holler at y'all. Because, wow. And it's interesting because my folks said, God will put you in those rooms. I know that there was something for me to learn in that moment. I know that there was it. I know it was something for me to learn in that moment, but it was just, wow. You really are sitting here across from me. And we was cool. I'm talking too much. We was cool. Not like, hey girl, what you doing? But cool. And were really close, had a very, very close mutual friend who was no longer alive, but had a very, very close mutual friend who is no longer here that loved both of us. And you didn't even ask me about them. Like it was no, I haven't seen you since Angie died, or you know what I'm saying? It was just really weird and disrespectful energy. So for those of you who just come in and ask me what I'm talking about, the short version of this long-winded ass shit is when I lost my case, someone that I used to be cool with celebrated the victory of the other people publicly on their timeline, made a post that was very disrespectful to me, extremely disrespectful to me, celebrating my loss. And it was a friend of mine that did it, or so I thought was a friend of mine. And recently, God sat me across from them at a very intimate private dinner. So that's what we talking about. And they tried to come in for a hug like nothing happened. Like I didn't see that shit. Like all of our friends didn't send me y'all know how we be doing. Bitch, did you see? Look at your phone. Go to your DM. You know what I'm saying? Everybody. And I was like, I, I was like, what did I ever do to her? Why is she supporting this? Somebody said I should have checked her politely. That wasn't the time. It wasn't the time. Not at a dinner. I saw it with my own eyes. It wasn't no mistake. Celebrating. And had the nerve to say some nasty shit like people always lying. You posted people always lying and congratulating. And I'm so happy for you. But we was cool. And then you come to a dinner seated next to me and come in for a hug with no explanation of why. What? Okay, I'm doing too much. But really, and yes, I did give her grace, but not so much on this live, huh? Oh, Jesus. But I ain't said nobody's name. So, but yeah. So that's it. That's the story. That's the story. It really broke my heart. It really made me feel like, damn, I thought this person was cool with me. No, I didn't hug her ass. Absolutely not. No, I'm not a fake bitch by no stretch of the imagination. See, that's the reason why people always have a problem with your girl, because I'm not going to pretend and I'm not going to be fake. The way you spent around that chair made me think about, right. I mean, I'm not going to be fake, period. And she was like, oh, oh. And the reason why is not because I didn't gram her mad dog, because the thing is, I didn't want the other people in the room to be uncomfortable. So I wasn't trying to really create no uncomfortable ass energy. I didn't want the host to be uncomfortable. It was a very enjoyable event. It was a very enjoyable room. It was cool as hell. But I'm just sitting here like, they done set me across from somebody who at one of the lowest points of my life publicly proclaimed her support for the people who sent me through hell. And I ain't even had a drink yet. I'll have 2 lemon drops. Make that 5. No, I only had 2. And it wasn't rude. I wasn't rude. I'm not gonna be rude. I'm not gonna be nasty. I'm not gonna rain on. I don't wanna rain on this parade. I'm not gonna rain on nobody else's parade. But Lord God, to be seated across from somebody who disrespected me that way. And then when she came in for the hug, and I was like, she was like, what's wrong? Are you okay? Are we? What's? I don't know. Let me think about it. Man, all I'm saying is if you don't like me, if you have a problem, please hit like, please hit share, please hit subscribe, please give me hearts. We're grown, it's late, and I need to get this off my chest so I don't sleep with it this evening. Even though I'm still gonna be thinking about this shit, like, this actually had the audacity. But if you don't like me, if you have a problem with me, if you don't believe that I deserved, as a fellow creative, the right to due process, you don't have to publicly proclaim that when we used to be cool and I've done nothing to you on a public page. Just send the private DM like, yeah, girl, I'm glad you won. That bitch was lying. F her. Whatever you're going to do. But don't like further convolute the situation by, I always knew you was telling the truth and she was lying and we supposed to be cool, and then come to me because, oh shit, we're seated across from each other. Hey girl, don't do that. Let's just both sit there. How you doing? How you doing? Good. Okay. Hey everyone. Now I did tell the hostess with the mostest, there will be no pictures together outside of group situations. I'm not going to flip a table. We're not going to do none of that. But the audacity of someone who violated my friendship and our friendship and my trust that way,